Okay, maybe I should. All right. We wanted to give a quick update on the elevator situation. So Ken has really been the lead for this and working with the elevator companies. But I thought I would introduce kind of the topic real quick, let everyone know where we're at, kind of what got us to this point. As you know, a couple of years ago, actually, there was a requirement to modernize the elevator that we currently have. Kind of subsequent to that, it actually stopped working, and we brought the company that we contract with came out, and Ken was with them all day. Charged us about $4,500. Couldn't fix it. Their salute. Well, we said, okay, we need to get it fixed. So they said, well, here's the proposal. It was send out a team of folks, an engineer, a technician, and some other folks, to the tune of about $5,600 a day. And they had no idea how long it would take them to fix it, and had no idea what the costs of parts would be to fix it. So with that, we just said, hey, let's kind of take a pause here, figure out where we're at. Ken actually contacted another company. They came in and gave us a proposal. They kind of concurred with kind of our assessment and said, hey, stop fixing this thing. It's you're throwing good money after bad. So uh, what needs refurbishing or modernizing or whatever you want to say, if you're looking at the elevator off to the left, there's a little room there, and it's got a little sign on it that says warning, elevator mechanic room. Inside that is this 1950s era group of relays. Looks like something out of a mad scientist laboratory. It's got little coils and electrical things in there, and as soon as you open it, you don't want to go any farther inside of it. So that's what needs modernizing. The cabin itself, the thing that goes up and down, is okay. There's nothing wrong with that, other than the fact it might have some asbestos in it. And the doors, there's some issues with the doors that will need modernizing. I'll turn it over to Ken, who can talk numbers, and anyone who has a question on that. Does that kind of get us caught up to what got us to this point? State, August 1st, and that's kind of yeah, what's driving a couple of issues that we're dealing with. Absolutely. And what Ken there, for those that couldn't on the live stream, couldn't hear, he talked about the modernization, the state modernization requirement for all elevators. Obviously, it's a safety issue, it's a security issue. Because of the age of our elevator, we've long passed a lot of the code issues. So the state had wavered it as long as I think they were willing to or could. That was another thing that was kind of driving all of this, is that because of the modernization, that's when we started reaching out to try to figure out how much it was going to cost us to modernize. And there's just some safety issues and things like that and now it's gone out on us. So now there's two reasons for us to look at our elevator situation, because it impacts not only the church and people who want to enjoy the services and the activities that go on here in the sanctuary. There are a couple other outside organizations. The elementary school across the street, they have their winter concert over here. So if they've got people with mobility issues, they may not be able to come watch kids and grandkids. So it's not just the people that attend here every Sunday. There's other things that are involved. Preschool graduations, men's choir that comes in here and gives their concerts. So all right, I'll turn it over to Ken. Ken will talk. Maybe I should disinfect this, or Ken just talk real loud, and he can ask any questions on numbers that anyone has. He can talk those.
Okay. Best place to pick up from where you left off is there's a couple of options on fixing the existing elevator. One is a modernization that we've gotten, like you mentioned. Cone, the one that services a unit right now, came in at like 181,000 for a full modernization. And I believe that's essentially putting a new unit in the existing shaft. To change a little bit what Brent had said, they have another option that's down to like 120,000, which is just to fix the controller, which is the massive picture that Brent has provided here, Will, of the controller, and then doing some other door opener issues and things like that, that they'll just kind of try to bring it up to code. So, I mean, I think that probably the best option is a full modernization. However, that is more. The second company that we contacted came in at 135,000 for a full modernization. So we have a couple of ideas about the cost for that. Of course, there'll be 30 to 50,000 more for other things like electrical, fire detection, modifications, couple other items that they had. Air conditioning, yes. The modern controller, of course, is electronic and it needs to be conditioned. So there'll be some other issues that'll come in for that. I've spoke with Cone, which is the one company that we have a maintenance agreement with now. Talk with their representative that we've been working with. I've got a couple of other questions that I asked them as far as if there's any more delays that the state has offered for pushing the code down the road for us. Another one is okay, I forgot what the other two were right now. One was financing, and I'm not so sure that we would care to go with a financing option that they would offer there. So I'm supposed to find out from them this week some more information on that. The other issue is for modernization, either way, would take 5 to 6 months, it turns out, which is, going to put us into, well into next year before a new modernized elevator could be installed. So that's problematic for that part. So I don't know what else to offer. We can go that route. Yeah, we've contracted with an architect to help us come up with a plan and a cost for putting in a completely new elevator that would go up through the parlor to service all 3 floors. The rough numbers we have so far are upwards of $400,000 to do that. However, probably needless to say, the benefits of that option, if we were able to pull it off, of course, and having access to all 3 floors, and all of it would be interior to access it. So I'm not sure where else to go with this right now. Sure.
I don't have any technical things to add, but I do just want to say when we talk about financing, which I don't know if Christine, you might want to come up here and give like concrete numbers of how much is pledged in the capital campaign, how much we actually have in the bank regards the capital campaign right now. But the foundation came just kind of, the Florida United Methodist Foundation came just kind of as a, hey, you're a new pastor here at Seminole Heights, let's get to know you kind of visit. So I don't have numbers, but I preliminarily talked to them about financing through them. Their rates tend to be, at least in other churches that I've served, below market rates. And it definitely, I'm very confident that it would be below the percentages for interest that Ken gave me through the elevator companies themselves, which that happens sometimes. But Christine, you want to come up and talk more specific numbers?
While Christina is coming up, while Christina is coming up, the reason we wanted to do this is not a trustee decision. This is a church decision. The trustees will certainly manage it once we decide, but we wanted everyone's input on the way forward with regard to this situation that we're dealing with. That's the only reason. We just didn't want you to think that the trustees are back there in secret making all these decisions. We'll manage it, but it is not a trustee decision. This is a church decision.
And church council will meet on September 14th is our next scheduled meeting. And this is on the agenda, kind of a letting church council know about all of this was an agenda item at our August meeting. But of course, as Brent said, we knew we did not need to make a decision that day. Instead, we needed to be open and transparent with the church before we voted on anything.
As the treasurer, I do work on these numbers, and with the Foundations of Faith, which is our capital campaign, we had pledged almost $150,000 over a 3-year period, and that will end April of 2026. So we have quite a few more months before we get all of that money in. Currently, we've got about $44,000 that has come in. More has come in over that amount, but that went to pay for our consultant. So we will not get in $100,000 more. We also have a building and improvement fund and have a couple of $1,000s in that could be used for this, but we really are going to need as much money outwardly coming forward into this program. Even with a loan from the foundation, we already have one loan out that we are servicing over probably another 20 years. So we don't know for sure how much they will be willing to loan us. That's not where I'm coming from or where my expertise would be in, but it's something to be aware of. So that's really about all I can answer for you.
And another financial thing that I think is important to say is in the initial capital campaign, before we actually knew what numbers would be, the dream either on what things were going to cost versus what could be pledged to the campaign. There was also a mention of the air conditioner that cools our sanctuary. So as if you're in person, you can feel it's working right now. We know when it's very, very hot outside, it works, but not great. So that cost is estimated to be $75,000 because we know that will not last forever. I don't think we have, to best of my knowledge, a concrete timeline of how long we expect it to last. But that is, I like to call those looming liabilities that are important for us as a church when we make financial decisions to have in the back of our mind and think about. Does anybody else who's up here want to say anything else? Larry, do you want, as the trustee who's faithfully like cheering us on right there?
I'd ask Sue just to post it for anyone online if they had a question to post it.
Great. Great. Yes. And just to let everybody in person or online know, the 3 people I'm asking you to give feedback to is either me, and I have been getting feedback from folks, and we'll share that at church council, or Brent here. He is the chair of trustees, or Katie Smith, as she is the chair of our church council. And that's, again, at that meeting at September 14th is the next time we're officially taking this up. But are there any questions from online, Sue? No? Oh, yeah. Do you have something?
No, I just wanted to cover myself on the third option, or not option, but the request of Cone. The company that we have the existing maintenance contract on is to immediately how to go about formally canceling that, since we have an elevator that's not working. There's no sense in spending $2 extra $1,000 in the next few months for that. So I didn't think that would need a real consensus.
This is us letting you know that yes, we are canceling our service contract until the elevator is operational. Then we'll make sure to have one. Is there any questions from anybody who's here in person? Yeah. The alternatives for the rest of the year. So we are exploring lots of options with those. And when I say we, I mean me, and making sure that I'm not unilaterally making decisions here. So we tried today of having the live stream, and this was the request of one of the people that this impacts. So we tried having the live stream in the chapel today. It's going to take I'll have to get feedback from them on how they liked it or how they didn't like it. A second piece is that we're also, between me and Brianna and some other volunteers who are here every Sunday, trying to figure out a pattern of easily setting that up every Sunday. There was the rain. Yeah.
Good. I went down there and checked it.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so initial feedback for those who are online or watching this video later is that the technology worked, but with the storm today, I am not surprised that our folks that I asked to pilot it were not here. Yeah.
It's probably the choir that I mentioned.
Or
they do provide.
yes.
They do pay for the
Yeah.
services, but
The
them as well. They won't be able. Their patrons won't be able.
yes.
And I've already alerted them.
Yeah. So I think that may also be, there is a, because you weren't at the last church council meeting, Brent, but there is a candlelight company that has contacted us. They do classical music throughout the area. And if what they have asked for is 2 dates in this calendar, or well, no, 2 dates within the next 6-7 months or so to test it out. And if everybody likes it, like if the church likes it and they like it, they would do it once a month, and it'd be $2,000 per concert. So that is significant. It doesn't pay for all the elevator, but that is significant. And so I think that's something for us to keep in the back of our mind. But as one who's not going to make a unilateral decision about things, church council has not approved their request to begin exploring those 2 initial concerts. And with an elevator that is 6 months, I can't say out, even if we were to sign a contract tomorrow, which we won't do until church council. I can't say whether or not church council is going to wait to see how the candlelight goes, because their dates they're requesting are November and February. So if we waited to see how that relationship went, we wouldn't sign a contract until March. So. Oh. Yes. I didn't know that they were Victory High School, who we housed here. They had left for the summer and knew they weren't going to be able to come back when I arrived. But Christine just shared with me that's $1,000 a month that they were giving us, that obviously they are not, because they are not utilizing our space. Thank you. I didn't know that. Is there any other questions from either online or in the house? Yes. So for those who know or don't know, we had a relationship with Bamboozle where they rented our kitchen for a period of time a while ago before they got their Seminole Heights location back up. We agreed on a price for rent over the cost of the entire liability of the time they were here. For the price of rent that they agreed, they've paid about half of it. They have not paid the other half. I have contacted them asking them for payments and or in-kind donations, and that's where it stands. If anybody in our church happens to have the contract that we had with them, where they actually signed something, that would be helpful. But that's the reality, is that I have the agreement that we drafted and sent to them, but I don't have their signature on it. So, but I am continuing to ask. Thank you. Yeah. We'll do what we can. We'll be, no, we'll be kind. We'll be kind. Yeah. Yes, yes. I've had people mention to me, what if we just built something that was completely exterior? Because there are, for cheaper alternatives just to get people up buildings, you can build an exterior chairlift of some sort. So we're really, as far as I know, the impression I get is that that would be very difficult with the historic district. We are designated as a historic place, which means that we are very limited to what we can do, particularly on the outside of the building. So that kind of, there's lots of ways that handcuffs us, but that's particularly one that handcuffs us there as well. Anything we do to change the exterior of the building, we have to hope that they agree with. So. Okay. Last call. And again, I will invite you, if you're not the kind of person who's going to say in front of everybody, or if you're not watching this live, you can also send your questions to the same people who are collecting your comments. So either me or Brent or Katie. In our last church e-newsletter, I put all 3 of our emails on there. It will also be on there again this next Friday. With a little bit of an update from this as well. And just we'll continue the conversation. Thank you guys so much for being involved in this. And I hope that the transparency is really helpful, because that's what we're all aiming for. Okay. Thank you.